Hello, and welcome to Silicon Valley Girls Chat Over Tea. I'm Gloria.
And I'm Rosetta. Hi.
So in the spirit of kindness, we want to always listen to one another and to be compassionate towards each other.
And thank you again for joining us for another week of our chats. Well, as you see, Gloria and I are not together this week, but we're coming to you together. And we are Silicon Valley Girls Chat Over Tea. And we just want to remind you that if you like our videos, hit the thumb icon to say you like our videos. Please consider subscribing to our channel below. We love that support, and hit the bell notification. All right, now the teas that we're drinking. Today, I'm going to start off with, I'm drinking organic, and it's called Throat Soother. It's one I've had in the past. It is organic, and the ingredients are, let's see, fennel root. Oh, my eyesight's so bad. Fennel fruit, ginger. I really can't see. Cinnamon bark.
And I'm not there with you to read it for you. I'm so sorry.
Sweet orange peel, peppermint leaf. Did I say that? Fennel,
Nope.
Cinnamon, ginger, sweet orange peel, and peppermint. And fennel is like licorice. So there you go.
Excellent.
Cheers.
Cheers, my friend. Cheers. Cheers.
All right. You can tell everyone what you're drinking.
And I'm drinking Bigelow Radiate Breauty. What else would a makeup person be drinking other than Radiant Beauty?
It's
Come
one
on,
that
I know
you
you
used to
can
do
show
a
it.
lot.
I know, it's like, come on.
I see the blueberries.
Okay, so we got the blueberries. So let's see if we, okay, almost.
No, that's okay. We know it's
Yes.
Radiant Beauty.
So
And
it's
it's
called,
got
oh
blueberries.
look, I pull it away and look, there it is, Radiant Beauty. So the primary ingredients are aloe vera, acelera, rosehip, elderberries. It has hibiscus, apple, natural blueberries, of course, orange peel, rosehip, elderberries, acelerol, juice granules, licorice root. My girl loves her some licorice, and aloe vera juice and concentrated blueberries. Lots of good, yummy, 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 yummy things in it. I love it. So cheers.
Cheers again.
Okay, so let's get this party started. As always, our thoughts and prayers go out to our human race. We've got to figure out and learn how to love one another and to just stop all the hate and the killing that's going on in our world right now. Whether you think about Ukraine or you think about the massive gun violence that's happening in the United States, it's everywhere. And particularly this week, our thoughts and prayers are with a young man's family. His name is Jalen Walker. He was in Anchorage, Ohio. There was a traffic stop. So he was pulled over for something as minor as a traffic stop. He was under duress because apparently he had some things going on in his personal life. And it's under investigation whether he shot at the police or the police thought he shot at them. However, he got out of the car and he started running, and 8 police officers chased him down and they shot him, and his body had over 60 wounds. I think that's a little excessive, because I understand, if your intention is to stop whatever's coming at the police, I honor and I respect that. I just think, what happened to shooting in the leg, shooting in the arm, shooting the gun out of the hand? How did we transition from having a conversation with someone to say, why did you do that, to killing the person?
Yes. So you're right. Why didn't they shoot just to injure so he couldn't move? But
Yeah, he was running away from,
I don't understand why he was running.
he was afraid. That's what his family is saying. They're like, based upon their understanding of everything, that's why he was running. So there's going to be a very thorough investigation, and as more information is made available, this is going to tick up just because of Black Lives Matter. Once again, Black man shot. And here we have another situation in Highland Park, Illinois. Very, very calm community. As far as I can tell, primarily Caucasian American. Many generations, like 5 generations, live in this town. A young man placed himself on the roof of a building, and during a 4th of July celebration of freedom, he took aim with an AK rifle. He shot over 70 rounds. He killed 6 individuals. 2 of those individuals was the mom and dad of a baby. And he knew what he was doing. After he did the shots, everyone's running. He takes and he puts on clothing to make him look like a woman so that he could melt into the crowd and just disappear.
Yeah, because obviously if he's dressed like a woman, nobody's going to suspect something.
No, no. I mean, and he had facial hair, but I was like, I mean, when you see the picture, you can tell. I'm not talking about his name. I don't think he needs any more recognition. I just think, once again, we have a young Black man who's running from the police officer, and, he's dead. And we have a young other individual, and it could just be the tactics of the police, where one police department is like, I want him brought in alive. I remember when they used to say that in the movie, what by any means keep him alive.
Yeah.
And now that doesn't seem to be the situation. So I cannot imagine you're sitting there like this one girl. She and her mom were sitting watching the parade. They heard the noise. They realized it was gunfire. Her and her mom are running hand in hand, and her mom falls down, and she's one of the deceased. I mean, this has got to stop. I understand that, freedom and all of that. This has got to stop.
Yeah, it's horrific hearing the encounters for people that were there, and hearing how many rounds went off with his AK-15.
Yeah.
It was horrendous. And someone said that this is something that happens in war crimes.
Well, that's what the gun was manufactured for. This is not for hunting. Don't be fooled. This is not a hunting gun, because when it hits, there's not much left to eat. This was manufactured for soldiers. And then those soldiers were trained how to properly utilize these guns. This young man was 22. And he had had 2 previous situations. One where the police had come out to his family's house because of a situation. And then the second time they came out, he had 16 knives, swords, and they took everything away. And the reason they called him is he said, I'm going to kill everybody in this house. That's his family. If you threaten your family, there's no connection to the outside world. So, once again, how was someone who had this on his recent record able to turn around and buy 5 guns?
Well, it's really sad, because I heard that they're not that expensive to buy. And even people, I'm not saying they're cheap, but they're not
Right.
like in the thousands. They're like
Right.
a couple hundred, $200-$300. And you could use your stimulus check to turn around and have someone buy it for you. There's a story of someone that got someone else to buy it for them, turned around, used a stimulus check, and had someone that was of legal age to buy them a gun. So it's not beyond your financial means if you have $200 to $300, which is the saddest thing ever. And the saddest thing is that they did not pass the bill where 18-year-olds cannot buy guns, period.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, which is really sad to me because they're still able to buy guns, but they said that they're just going to do that waiting period. I guess that's what it is, right? Or if
Yeah,
there's
but even
any,
a 3-day waiting period, they say, I think it's like 72 hours. They say that's not enough time to get the report.
it's not, which is sad. And what's even sadder is that a lot of people are saying that we have too many people in the United States that have mental health issues.
Yeah.
And it's not mental health issues because other countries have a lot of mental health issues as well. But the difference
Right.
between our country and other countries is that we have guns.
Yeah.
And it's really, really sad that this is what it's boiled down to. So that
Yeah.
was just, I mean, I was watching TV and the news, and all of a sudden this came up about this shooting, and I'm like, on 4th of July, what
Yeah.
is happening? What is
Yeah.
happening?
Yeah. A day of freedom. And I have a friend who lives in Vegas, and she told me that her and her family were out having lunch, and there were people walking around in the restaurant with guns on their hips or a holster, under their jacket. And for her, she said the most shocking thing is some of them are women.
Yeah.
That's really
Well,
sad.
when you allow your state or you have a law that says you're allowed to carry a gun with you, things happen, right?
Yeah.
So that's what happens, and it's very sad because coming to, this 4th of July was meant to, it's a very very different 4th of July for me. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. It was different from a lot of people. Rosetta and I, we were talking, and typically the 4th of July, it's barbecue, it's parades, it's celebration. It's a way of acknowledging the freedom that we all hold near and dear to our hearts. Well, some of us do. There is a populous percentage of the United States who want to go back to previous years, and they will do whatever it takes to get back to those years of owning people, belittling people, putting people in their places, as they call it. And I think that instead of worrying so much about the past, everyone better wake up and worry about the future. Because, I heard a few minutes ago that China's on its way to the moon. And when China gets there, they're going to say, we're here, it's like that we got here first kind of thing. And there's this whole legal document that about the space and space travel and all of that. And I just believe we have got to value lives a little bit more, and we've got to practice more love and kindness, because it's just sad. And I don't ever want us to get jaded. And the thing that I pray for every day is the day when women, who is a higher percentage of the United States than men, wake up and say, you know what? I am done. I have allowed you to put laws in to do whatever it is you want to do, and my child is at risk. Do you realize, people, children, when they go to school, it's like going to a war zone now. They don't get to go in the room and sit down and play and all that. I mean, my little neighborhood kids are telling me, oh yeah, we go through drills all the time. Alarms go off. We have to get under our desk. We have to go to a certain place. That's really sad. This is our children. It's got to stop. Like Rosetta said, it's got to stop.
Exactly.
So we also wanted to talk to you a little bit about, Ellen. She retired, and Rosetta and I have always loved the person that we have seen on the show. We have loved the image that person reflects, the love and the kindness. And, one of the reasons that she decided to retire is there was all of this information coming out that her and her producers were mean and toxic. And the work environment was very, very toxic. And you know, Rosetta and I have found that even though Ellen has kind of let go of her show and all of that, there are documents and conversations still being had because people don't want her to come back into the fold.
Oh, sorry about that. Technology. This is what happens when you're on Zoom. Technology takes over. Sorry about that. The screen just froze if you didn't know, Gloria.
Oh, no, I didn't.
So we'll let you continue.
So basically, you know, if you know something about Ellen, we would love to have a conversation because the image of Ellen, I love. This information that's coming out now, I'm not so pleased with because I think that's very, very sad. I mean, like people were saying that she didn't have eye contact. And a way of honoring and respecting someone is to look at them when they're talking to you.
She would say, people would say, rather not her, but people would say, you're not allowed to look at Ellen in the eye. For whatever reason, she didn't like people looking at her in the eye. And there's a lot of information coming across. And Gloria and I, remember, we this is the lady that we love and we respect her. And she comes across as a very kind-hearted woman, and she's a funny comedian.
Yes.
However, sometimes we found out information that sometimes when she's interviewing celebrities or people that she's asked to come on the show to be interviewed, she would do it in a comedic way, but it would be kind of in a mean, like pushing way, but in a way that as an audience, you wouldn't be able to tell. You'd think it's part of the interviewing process that she does, and come to find out it is not. It's just them responding to her the way that she asks questions, pushing. And that really brings a different light in my eyes, and in probably Gloria can say the same thing, but in our eyes we have a different take on her now because we think she's all this fun loving person, but really it's affected a lot of people that have been interviewed on her show.
Yes.
So we want to share, well, maybe I should put it in the description below, the link of that video.
Yeah.
You can watch it yourself, and we'd love for you to, you know, tell us what you think. Now,
to comment. You know, I actually remember when Mariah Carey was on her show and Ellen was trying to figure out if she was pregnant or not. Now, on the top airy-fairy aspects of it, it was cute. However, Mariah Carey had been trying to get pregnant. And when a woman is trying to get pregnant, you don't talk until you know it is solid.
Because I think she had a miscarriage, correct? Prior.
Yes. Yes, she did. And Ellen is trying to get her to drink champagne to prove whether she's pregnant or not so that she could announce it on her show. That's what's in the video that Rosetta's going to put down the link in down below. And the other thing is I've always seen her bantering with Taylor Swift. And I thought it was because they were girlfriends, because that's what girlfriends do, you know? And then come to find out it wasn't bantering.
It was more like her wanting to ask these questions that Taylor Swift didn't want to go into. Taylor Swift didn't want to go that direction, but because Ellen was leading the interview, she was the one directing how the conversation was going. So she would try and say, oh, you and Zac Efron, your boyfriend, did you write this song about Zac Efron? And she goes, no, Zac Efron and I were never boyfriend, girlfriend, and trying to like really get some dirt out of her.
Right. So we'll put the link down below. And if you know of information, because we like to make sure that our community is updated and what we know, you know, and we would love for you to share that with us and just post it down below and we'll pick it up and we'll continue to talk about it.
Yeah. It's very sad that we hear conflicting things about Ellen now.
Excuse me.
You're excused.
So over the 4th of July weekend, even though there was some sadness, there was also some happiness. Adele performed live for the first time in the UK in 5 years. And, you know, one of the things that I love about her is that she is very conscious of what's going on around her. She was singing her heart out, and someone out in the audience was having some type of distress.
Yes.
And then she told the band, she goes, ho, 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 stop, stop, stop. And she walked out and she pointed and she's like, security, you know, could you check? Is everything okay? And then, you know, they would go and she'd say, everything's okay. And she goes, okay, we'll continue. I mean, how many performers do you know, number one, can even see the people to know that someone's in duress or anything like that? I thought that was really beautiful.
Right, right. I saw that clip on some video, and I was just wondering, what is she saying hold up to, and stop, and security? And she was making sure she walked like, you know, the catwalk, the little walk, and
Right.
she was making sure that everything was okay before she
Yeah.
started again with her song. But it was really, I really liked it. It was nice.
Yeah. I love her. I love her a lot. Hello.
Yep.
Also, Carlos Santana was performing last night, and he collapsed on stage, and everyone was really concerned. And as they're wheeling him off the stage, he takes his little hand and he waves to let everybody know he's okay. And he said, they came out with the statement, and he's like, I was having so much fun, I forgot to eat and not drinking enough water. And those lights are so bright and so hot, I'm sure it will dehydrate you pretty fast. So luckily, he's okay. I'm very happy about that. So, girlfriend, have you thought of like getting on an airplane recently?
Have I thought about that recently? Well, I was on a plane in May to go to Vegas,
Okay.
and we had booked it in when was this? January. We'd booked this.
Okay.
Early February, and we had got our flights there and back, return flight. We were all set. We got confirmation from Southwest and everything. And then a friend of mine decides she wants to join us, but she obviously can't get the same flights. But then, like, it must have been that week, she decides to call Southwest, see if she can get on the same flights as me and my other friend was going. She goes, this is the flight, and I'd like to be on the same flight as them. This is my confirmation number. And they go, well, we don't see a flight of that number. We don't see that the flight number. That flight's been canceled completely, and they've now been shifted to a later flight to leave San Jose. I
Oh
didn't
my
even know
God.
this. Nobody has sent
They
me
didn't
an
give you
email.
any notice?
No. And then my friend calls me, and she's like, your flight's been canceled. You've been booked on a different flight that's going to get you into Vegas at a later time. So I'm like, what? Nobody sent.
What?
So I have to call Southwest myself, thinking I'm going to have to wait for an hour online with someone. But it was very quick. Got hold of someone, and they told me, yes, your outbound flight has been changed. And I said, okay, what happened there? It's just been canceled. So I said, okay, let's go on the same flight as my friend, which was an earlier flight. So they say, okay, we can do that. And because this was an inconvenience and the flight was canceled, you don't have extra charges, because her flight earlier was, you know, that it's more expensive
Right.
because she booked last minute. He goes, oh, and would you like to keep your return flight? Because that has been changed as well.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, what? So when has it been changed to? So anyway, so luckily the outbound flight was okay, because I was okay coming back on the one they changed us to. But this is what it is. Be careful, everyone, because Southwest, when they send you emails, they don't send you an email saying update, change of flight information. Like, you know, in the subject, they will say what the email is about. All they say is your confirmed itinerary. That's all they say. So here I am. I'd never even looked at my email. If I had, I would have thought, okay, usual as usual. It's a confirmed flight like I booked from the original, from the get-go. So my experience with travel nowadays is be very careful. You have to keep double checking your flights. Don't think that just because you're confirmed, everything is fine and dandy.
Wow. I brought the subject up for something different. My girlfriend had decided for the 4th of July weekend, she was going to come home. She hadn't gone to her mom's grave site in a while. She's in Vegas. She wants to fly from Vegas to San Jose. Guess how much they wanted her to pay?
From Vegas to, well, usually when they do that, it's, I don't know how much, 700 round trip.
568 one way.
Not surprising. Wow.
$568 one way. And the other thing was, once she got here, she was like, well, I'll get a car because my mom lives in Merced. Well, her resting place is in Merced, California, and I'll just drive down. And that was $578 for a couple of days.
It's crazy because the prices of, because they have to pay for their fuel, the plane fuel, and the lack of staff. So it's expensive. Rental is up the wazoo, because I've noticed that these past few, over the holiday weekend, 4th of July, planes, I've been seeing people, because I belong to a Facebook group called for Brits that have moved to the US, and they're saying their flights have been delayed, this and that.
Yeah.
For
Yes.
like a whole day or 16 hours, and then they have to wait, and then they just, and then some people are saying that they're driving instead of flying. They're gonna, originally they were meant to be flying, but then they decided it's better just to fly, to drive instead of wait for all the, with all these delays and things.
Exactly.
So things have not been going as smoothly as we want it to go, which is why I'm kind of nervous about flying anywhere now, because anything can happen. And then you're left driving. And as Gloria said, it's really expensive to rent a car.
Yeah.
There aren't that many cars to rent to begin with.
Exactly. And that's the other thing. The airports don't have a lot of cars. So and like you just shared with us, they changed your flights and didn't even inform you. So there's a lot of that going on where you think, okay, everything's cool. I have my confirmation. What would have happened if your girlfriend had not decided she wanted to go? You would have showed up and nothing would have been the way you anticipated
I
it
know,
to be.
and I did see the email after the fact, but it did not say updated flight change. It just said your flight confirmation itinerary. That's all it said.
Right. Yeah. So you're thinking, oh, this is just another copy because it's getting closer to my departure time. Yes. So everyone, you have to, first and foremost, you have to pack your patience. You have to make sure that when you're going to the airport, you are prepared. They're telling people now, I think back in the day, it used to be 2 hours to ensure you get on the flights and everything's good.
2 hours was international. 1 hour was national.
Now it's 2 hours domestic USA, just to be safe. And there's also this whole situation where when you get there and you're checking in, and whether you have bags or don't have bags, it's a hot mess. And she said the most frightening thing to see is when you look up on the wall, and the wall, you just see everything's like on time, and all of a sudden it just starts turning red, cancel, 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 cancel. So there are lots and lots of things that are going on that, just pack your patience and be prepared, because it's going to take a minute.
Yeah, that's true. And they do say if you want to go somewhere, you should fly out at least a day earlier than you want to, so that if there are any delays, you'll be there on time. That's what they're suggesting to people.
Wow.
It's crazy.
Well, it is crazy. We'll keep an eye on it, and we'll just keep sharing with you. So, we have decided that we're going to try and, keep you abreast of what's going on with our climate, global warming. Here in California, of course, we had a heat wave, and, anytime anything happens, we don't have a lot of rain. So we're having fires, and they're breaking out all around us, and we're all just praying that everyone's going to be safe and be okay. So Rosetta has decided she's going to give you a little helpful tip. And every week we'll try and give you more information, because information is power. And we have to get everyone to realize this is not just bad weather. Do not believe that. This is not just bad weather.
The bad weather comes from somewhere. And last week, we've mentioned this many times in the past. If you're new to our channel, we like to talk about why we're having this global warming. And last week, I explained to everyone why we're having global warming. Do you know what it is? Quick summary is that things we do, they actually emit carbon, CO2, carbon oxide gases, and it gets trapped in the atmosphere, which is what's causing the global warming, and countries and places are getting warmer than they usually are. Like we talked about, like Alaska, and the glaciers are melting all the ice and things like that. But what we want to do is, yes, it's fine and dandy. We know that all this is happening, but what can we do as citizens of the globe, of the world, to reduce the carbon footprint that we are emitting these CO2 gases, carbon dioxide gases, into the atmosphere? Last week, I talked about maybe your next car, thinking about going hybrid or electric. This week, I'm going to talk about another reason why we have a lot of carbon footprint emission. And one thing you can do is reduce your meat intake, your animal intake. And that includes not only meat, but dairy as well. And I have some research that I found. It says livestock and their byproducts account for at least 32,000 million tons of carbon CO2 per year. That's what they say, or
Wow.
51% of all worldwide greenhouses. And it says it's significantly, this is what what I'm like shocked at. This is significantly more than the combined exhaust fumes from all the modes of transport put together. Can you believe that?
From the animal product and
Yes.
the really?
Yes. And all these emissions for animal agriculture are projected to increase 80% by 2050 unless more sustainable production systems are widely adopted. And that means humans like us, you and me, what can we do is to lower our intake of animal products and eat more sustainably, like the foods we grow. Back in the days, we used to eat what we grew, right? We used to have fruit and vegetable gardens, and that's what we're trying to do, right? Is to eat more fruits and veggies. And we all know that our body it's the law by science. It's proven that the more fruits and veggies we eat, the more preventative health we will have. So that's twofold, right? And it's crazy because it says the meat and dairy industry is also responsible for 91 up to 91% of Amazon deforestation, grazing land and field crops, which result in the extinction of unique plant, insect, and animal species. So you all hear about this deforestation. How can we preserve our forest, the Amazon rainforest? And this is one of the ways we can do that. So as I say, as I'm a health coach, I do like to inform people it is healthier to increase your fruits and veggie intake and decrease your animal product intake. And one of the reasons being that it can reduce the carbon footprint emissions, which are causing all this crazy, like Gloria said, this crazy weather that we've been seeing for many decades now. But in the last 5 years, it's been getting worse and worse and worse.
I tell you, it's so interesting because as you're talking, my mind is spinning over here. I'm like, okay, now back in the day, they had buffaloes and steers and, now granted, the population wasn't at the magnitude of what it is today. I have always wondered, even as a child, because I grew up with my grandparents raising whatever we consumed. Why and how did we get into the point of circulating it all over the world? I think that I can't remember, but there was an article I read years ago, and it was talking about the CO2 in, say, tomatoes that are coming from Northern California or even Southern California to the grocery stores, local stores. That's one thing versus when they start putting them in containers, and then they start putting, like the fish and all that, and everything is moving around. And they were saying that the transportation is what was also increasing the, I guess you could say, the severe degrees of weather change. But I never heard it was like meat related. I always thought it was because of, like you said, the cars. And then when you said the emission, and I was like, you're kidding me. That's
Yeah,
amazing. That's amazing.
yeah, exactly. And I've not just a couple of sites, but many sites, if you do your research, they talk about reducing your animal intake, and they give you can go on YouTube and people explain about why animals, it's causing more of that carbon footprint in the atmosphere. But it's crazy. Like you, I didn't know about that. And because we're here to educate you, now you know better. Then I always say, take this knowledge and do better with it. Now you know.
Now you know. So here in the United States, we are doing these January 6th hearings. This is a committee that has been put together to try and figure out what happened during the insurrection on January 6th, where Vice President Pence was, they were attempting to locate him so that they could hang him. They were attempting to locate Nancy Pelosi, Speaker of the House, because they wanted to terminate her life. All of these things that were going on, and everyone, it all came down to a position that if people had just been honest with the president and said there was no fraud, there was no fraud in the election, Joe Biden won fairly, it's time to pack up and go home and let it go. And really, really convinced him and let him know, if you continue to pursue this, Mr. President, you could end up in jail. They didn't. They let him, keep talking and doing all this stuff. So it's been suspended for about a week. There's another week. And then next Tuesday, the 12th, the co-chairs will reinstitute those committee meetings. And they're issuing subpoenas now. This is something that I believe is going to go down in history as the biggest catastrophe against democracy ever, because there are so many people who believe what they're being told, irregardless of what they can see. So we'll keep an eye on it, and I'm sure there will be exciting times. And as those exciting times come to fruition, Rosetta and I will update you.
Exciting times, to say the least. Oh,
yes. They're jaw-dropping moments where you're thinking to yourself, oh my God, oh my God. So our last chat, I told you my boys were going to show up and show out. So the Minions, their new movie, The Rise of Gru, started on Friday. It ran Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday of the holiday. And they did 107 million USA and over 200 million domestic wide, the whole world.
Wow.
And my sister and her husband, they went to see it. And he's a Minion guy, like I'm a Minion girl. And she told me, she says, there were more adults in the movie theater than there were kids. More adults than children. So
you didn't see it?
No, not yet. Not yet.
Okay, well, I like Minions, but I'm not sure if I want to go and see the movie. It is worldwide famous because when we went in 2014, because we went on a cruise in 2014, and it was to Japan, and one of the stops was in Korea, Busan, Korea. And my son, we didn't even know this, but on that day when we stepped off the cruise ship, he wore a Minion t-shirt. And when he got off, the woman in Korea said, Minion, Minion. They love in Korea. They love the Minions. Yeah, they were like just so happy that he had the t-shirt on.
That's really cool. That's really cool. I love it.
Yes.
So much continued success. I think they knocked Maverick. I think Maverick is in third place because Elvis is also
Well,
doing really
remember,
well.
I want to see Elvis, and we were thinking of doing like the first showing, me and Gloria, when the
Yes.
first showing of the day, which is like what, 10, 11 a.m.?
Yeah, early, while the kids are still at home and the theater has just been sanitized from the previous day. It'll be the best of both worlds.
Yes. And if you've seen any of those movies, let us know. Comment what your
Yes,
thoughts are.
yes,
Maverick, I've seen Top Gun, very good.
yes,
Elvis, Minions, and any other movie that you can suggest that we watch that
yes,
is a must watch. Comment
yes.
below.
Please let us know. So this week's AGT, America's Got Talent, was different. And I'm sure it's because it was, this is a holiday week. A lot of people are on vacation, not really thinking of television. So they took the opportunity to ask Simon to build a list of the 15, his opinion, not the everybody, just him, his opinion of the top 15 golden buzzer moments. And some of the moments I was like, I mean, there was a group and I was like, I don't even remember them.
I know.
I
I
was
was like, what did they do?
I know. I was like, when did they do that? And like when Terry got so emotional with the martial arts and how because when my husband took martial arts as a child and young adult, and when you do that, you are taught discipline and respect. I think most of our children need that right now. They need discipline and respect, especially respect of your elders. So that part was kind of touching. The little ladybird, she's a young woman that was battling cancer, and she shared her story before she sang. Simon gave her the golden buzzer. Unfortunately, she passed away before she had an opportunity to go through a full season. So, but there were all kinds of golden buzzer moments. And my favorite part was Simon would say to himself, oh, ho, ho, this is the one. And he would be talking and someone else would hit the buzzer and take the person away from him. I love that.
Yeah, but it was good to see some of them. I kind of fast forwarded it on some of the parts, but then
Right.
some of the ones that I wanted to stop and think, oh, yeah, I remember that. That was cool.
Yeah. Yes. I remember the little boy that played the violin. Oh my God, he just gutted me again when I watched it because he was bullied because he had cancer and, your hair is falling out. And, it's just, we've got to learn how to live together. And even, I think honestly, since Simon became a father, he is a much kinder,
He's become a
nicer.
softie. Now he's had his own son.
Yes. Well, because I'm sure his baby will say to him, Daddy, that was mean. Why are you mean? So, and that's what we have to do is get back into being good role models and not just going for likes. Who cares about a like? So our last topic of the day, we always try and give you a little bit of an update. Last week, we shared with you that the numbers here in the COVID numbers here in Northern California were going up. There's so many variants. There's variant BA1, variant BA2, variant BA4, I think is where we are today. And it's just to the point where people need to protect yourself. So with all of the 4th of July celebrations, all the parties, I mean, I'm watching television and I'm going, where are their masks? Everybody's yelling, everybody's having a great time. Just be aware, this variant that's moving around the world right now, and some countries got rid of this because they got people to stop and they wouldn't let no one in their countries until they settled it down. We aren't there. Some people, it's like a little sniffle. You feel tired. Oh, I'm just tired. And they'll rest a couple of days and they're back at it. Some people are very sick. My sister and her husband went to a graduation in Texas. I kept telling her, don't go. send cards, send money, don't go. However, it was her husband's niece, and he was very proud. She was graduating from college, and they went. And when they got home, she wasn't feeling good, and they tested and they had COVID. She was down hard for 4 days. Her husband, he tested positive. The next day, he was a little bit. Next day, he's done. He's back up and moving. She is in bed. Get up, take a shower, fall back out. Get up, take a shower, fall back out. So even people who are together who get COVID are having different experiences. So please be careful. Continue to wash your hands. Social distance if it's someone you don't know, because you don't know. It's not to be, don't be afraid. I'm not saying that. Go out, enjoy your life, have fun. However, like if I'm out and someone coughs and it's that wet cough, I put my mask on and I stay away from them. I go, how you doing? And so Rosetta and I just want you to be safe. This is something that unfortunately is going to be around for a while. So let's learn how to safely live with it and protect ourselves and our children.
Well, hopefully we're going to come out with in the spring, it's not springtime, September, that's what I was meant to say, the fall time, we're coming out with the stronger vaccine, Omicron vaccine.
Right. Yeah. But, people need stuff right now. And I just, be careful. The building that I work in, I'm not in there as much because every 3 days someone was testing positive for COVID. So it's out there and it's about, and all we want you to do is be safe, have fun, enjoy your summer. I just saw some pictures. I completely forgot. There are things that I used to do every year. I don't even think about, like 4th of July was quiet. It was also in New Orleans. It was the Essence Festival. And if you saw the movie Girls Trip with Tiffany Haddish,
and Jada Pinkett Smith,
Regina King. That movie was so fun, and that's what it's about. And you get to see Mariah Carey was performing, and Puffy was there, all different performances, and that was last weekend, and I forgot all about it.
Oh, I don't even know when that comes on, but I know that of the Essence Awards. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, this isn't an award show. This is a concert in New Orleans every year.
Concert, the
This
Essence.
is a concert.
Oh,
for 4 days, you can go and you are entertained, and you got to pay, you got to buy tickets, and better the tickets, the better the seat. And if you get backstage access, but it's high named individuals, the top of the top, the creme de la creme. And I forgot. I can't believe it, but I forgot.
Wow. I wonder if that was televised.
Normally it's not, because you pay a lot of money to attend. However, after, sometimes they'll do like little tidbits.
Well, I'm going to do some research on that.
Yeah, because on Daily Pop, Lonnie Love was there and she was taking pictures. And so Justin was giving her a hard time, saying, every time you see me down the hall, you yell at me, put on your mask. Be careful when you're out there. And he goes, I didn't see you in a mask, not once. And she was like, trust me. She goes, I did what I had to do, because she was working the event. And then she goes, I would go to my hotel room and I would, sanitize and take care of myself. She goes, I was not out partying. So it's a fun event. One of these years we'll have to go. It is off the chain. New Orleans is it's just such a fun place to go. So we'll have to go check it out. Yes. So we hope that we were able to share a little knowledge with you all today. We are so grateful that you take this time to spend with us. We don't want to be doubters, and we don't want to be the negative. We want to be upbeat and positive. So we kind of try and blend in a good, mixture of what's going on in the world, the good, the bad, and the indifference. So we feel the love that you share with us by participating. We receive it and we send it back to you. And we hope you will go out and share it with the world and make it a good day.
Yes, we do. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you. And please don't forget, we would love for you to hit that thumb icon so we know that you liked our videos, and consider subscribing to our channel. And you can hit that bell notification, my little British flag here. And you see the little British flag right there?
I
Go.
know, that's so
There
cute.
you go. You don't miss any of our videos. But thank you so much. We are Silicon Valley girls that chat over tea. And
And remember
remember to
to
always
always
keep
keep
smiling.
smiling.
Bye-bye now. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.